Help, I'm slipping into this twilight zone. This is a madhouse, feels like being cloned. My beacon's been moved under moon and stars. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? So you want to know when the bullet hits a bow. Good morning, everybody there in YouTube land. How are you all doing? I got this new copper mask, and it's driving me crazy. Anyways, the pollen isn't quite so bad when I'm wearing this mask, so my eyes are swollen like crazy because of this pollen, though. But it's not going to be too long. It'll be out of my realm, and thanks God for it. Excuse me for scratching. Anyways, I wanted to talk about UFOs. Okay, so when I was 17, me and some of my neighbors, we were outside playing football, and we used to do it till it was just about dark, big time dark. And one day we were out there playing through the football, and it went out in the woods, so a lot of us started going out there looking for the ball. And we came across this big bright light in the sky, and it could have been a star, sure enough, but the way that it landed, I mean, there wasn't any explosion behind it, and it was real slow when it landed. It landed in this one area that didn't have any palmettos or anything like that. And we thought it was real weird. It wasn't making any noises at all. It was completely quiet, actually. But it was bright. You couldn't even hardly look at it. And we left from there. We went back to playing football, and I don't know, it was about 25 minutes later, this thing just went straight up. I mean, straight up. And you couldn't see it anymore. It was like gone. So we imagined that it was a UFO, and we claimed it as such. But, you know, through talking to my dad, he was in the Air Force. He was stationed down in Homestead, Florida, which some of you probably know about that area, but excuse me. But my dad used to tell me about it. I mean, he said he saw many of them, and in the Air Force, it's not an unlikely thing to even have reports on it. I mean, people from all over would call into the Air Force and say they seen an unidentified flying object, and he saw many of them from what he told me. And he didn't really want to put it out there, you know. He didn't want any of that. But yeah, that's just one of those phenomenal things that you don't really like to talk about. Also, when I was 14 or 15, me and my neighbor, we were out in the woods, and we smelled a terrible smell. It was terrible. And we looked over, and we saw what looked like a bear on the ground. And all of a sudden, this thing stood up, and it had to have been like 8 foot tall, 9 foot tall, maybe. I mean, it was big. And we took off running. And later on, excuse me. Later on, we deemed it as a skunk ape, which is the same as a Sasquatch or whatever. But they stink terrible. I mean, this thing was really badly stinking. I mean, I've smelled skunk before. I've actually picked up a dead skunk before. and this smelled nothing like it. It was totally different and a lot worse of a smell, if you could imagine that. So, yeah, I can say that I believe in both Sasquatch or Bigfoot, whatever you want to call them. They're called skunk apes in Florida. But, yeah, I believe in them, and I believe in UFOs also. I've seen way too many things to not believe it, and I know many people that have seen them, so why question millions of people spotting them? Excuse me. This pollen has to go away. So anyways, I just wanted to tell those two stories because I didn't have story time last night. Hope y'all are well. I want you to know that I love you. Love yourself, love God, and by all means, love each other. Until next time, people, love, peace, and soul.